for joining Let It Fly Disc Golf. I am just finishing up a video on the course, but I also wanted to kind of talk about somebody I ran into. Let's just say I missed the opportunity to run into somebody. I should have said something. So I live in Abilene, and I was at a place. Me and my wife wanted to go and eat somewhere, and of course you know how that goes, where, hey, what do you want to eat? What do you want to eat? So on and so on. And I figured that kept throwing out different ideas of where I wanted to eat, and we finally landed on a place, and it was kind of rainy, really muggy that day. Didn't really go out and play or anything like that, but I decided to spend some time with my wife instead of playing disc golf, right? So anyways, we're sitting right there by the front door of this restaurant called Blue Barrel. Give a shout out. Pretty good food. Have amazing drinks. But I was sitting by the front door. It was packed, crazy packed. And I'm talking to my wife, and I'm always talking about disc golf. Sorry, ladies. If that's our game, that's what we talk about. Okay? Talking to my wife about disc golf, and I see somebody walking in like my left side, and I'm like just talking, and I look over. And you know how like when you recognize somebody but you're like not really sure? I'm talking about like, not like, oh, that's 70% sure that's him. It's more of like 50-50. You're like, this guy looks very, very familiar. I don't know if I should like just bum rush him and be like, hey, are you so-and-so? Right? And I was like, I don't want to seem weird about it, because I'll tell you that he kind of looked homeless, right? But that's the new style, right? I'm a little older. I think maybe he's my age. But I was just like, I looked at him, and he gave me this look that was just like, I'll never forget it. But he looked at me like, you think I know who you think I am? I was like, dude, I think this is, and he looked at me like, oh yeah, it's me, all right. And I didn't say anything. He walked out the door. I took another glance at him, and I looked over to my wife, and I was like, hey, I think that's Mr. Jomez, right? I was like telling my wife, I was like, I think that's Mr. Jomez. And she was like, who? And I'm like, the guy that started Jomez, that's him. That's Jonathan, right? Jonathan Gomez. And I'm like, I think that's him. And she goes, go say hi. And I was like, he's already like in the parking lot. And I was like, no, that'd be weird for me to like run up to him. Hey, Mr. Jonathan. But man, I missed the opportunity to say hi. And one, I had this like kind of like confusion of like, was it him or not? So then I started texting my friends. We have a group, and I started texting them, and I was like, hey, I think I just saw Jonathan from Jomez walk past me in Abilene. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would he be in Abilene? Right? And I'm like, it's the Disc Golf Pro Tour that's going on. That doesn't make any sense. Why would he like be at Blue Barrel in Abilene, right? So then I was like, I'm telling you, it's him, and other, my friends are kind of trolling me and stuff. But one of my friends goes, hey, why don't you just message him on Facebook, see if he'll like respond? Now I've messaged pros before, and I understand like someone like Paul Macbeth, who wouldn't like really respond back to me, right? I will give a shout out to Nico LaCastro. He's probably the only pro that's ever actually responded. I think I sent him like a funny video or something like that, and we started conversating back and forth. So hats off to you, Nico. That's pretty cool. But I mean, that's just it, is that like, for me, I wouldn't be a person who would be known in the disc golf community if it wasn't for you guys. And so anytime that I have the opportunity to talk to somebody, I went to the Disc Golf South, ran into a lot of cool people. They all recognized me and my brother Sal, and that was really cool. Like, not to say that we're trying to become famous, but we're definitely here to try to help the disc golf community with like forums and all kinds of other stuff. And give a shout out to all the other YouTube disc golfers that are putting out content and that kind of stuff. Definitely do your homework, but for the most part, I was like, okay, well, I'll just message Jonathan and see what's up. And I was like, hey man, I think I saw you at Blue Barrel. I wasn't sure if it was you. If you could just confirm basically that it was you, that would be cool. And a whole day went by. I saw that he did look at it, but I was like, oh, here's the typical like somebody who will see it and not respond. And then I was working on my Mitsubishi Eclipse, and I heard like a ding, And so I went to go read it, and I was like, oh snap, it was him. He responded, hey man, it was me. Sorry I didn't get to, whatever. And it was just like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I missed the opportunity to be able to say hi, right? Because Mr. Jomez, if it wasn't for him, a lot of y'all probably wouldn't even know what disc golf is. And I'm talking about like, oh yeah, I would, I play, I see a lot of people. No, you don't understand like how important he was to for a lot of people getting into disc golf, right? Um, if you go back and watch his videos like from early back in the day, how they just took camcorders and went to these parks and, knowing that the Pro Tour wasn't that big, but he was out there like, hey, this is a really cool way to like get film because nobody else is doing this. And he did that for us, right? And now look at him, right? So thank you, Jonathan, for responding. Thanks for doing all you do for the disc golf community. And it's what really drove me to step up my game in disc golf. And I've been playing disc golf for a long time, but I love watching Jomez Pro. I love watching them come up with new, fun and exciting ways to engage with their audience. So hats off to you. But that's pretty much it. So if you have the opportunity and you see a pro out there and you're not really sure, what's the worst that can happen? Hey man, are you? Nah, I'm sorry. I'm Bill Belichick. You know what I mean, right? I'm not who you think I am, right? But say something, right? That's what I learned in this experience. But really cool. I really do appreciate him responding and just making my day, making my week. I responded to my friends and I was like, hey, look, check it out. He did respond. It was him. I should have said something. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Get out there, go out there, have some fun, throw out some discs, keep up the good work, get out in the field, let it fly.
Let it fly into the sky, let it glow into